Well, it seems like the most popular videos on my page are about HGA. And I'm just speaking the truth in those videos. I'm not trying to like fluff it up or dumb it down. I think HGA is a cool brand. I just think it has a lot more to prove. Now within those videos, people were like, talk about PSA, talk about Beckett, talk about SCG and everything else. I want to talk about PSA because I've had a horrible experience with PSA. Probably worse than HGA. No. Definitely worse than HGA. 100% worse than HGA. I sent in cards for a 30-day return. And this was before PSA was flooded. So I sent in 5 cards for a 30-day return. And that 30-day return turned into a year and some change. So just to give you guys a timeline of how this all went down is when the card market barely, I'm talking barely started going like this, my cards were in the system. And then it went do 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 do, and it kept going. See, I thought I was early enough to get it back in time. Little did I know I wasn't. See, if I would have got my cards back on time, I would have made some good money. Because what happened was I sent multiples of Luis Robert, multiples of Jason Dominguez, multiples of Bo Bichette. And now looking back, that probably wasn't the smartest thing, but I mean, honestly, I'm still holding them. I keep one of each. If I have 2 slabs of a player, I don't really hold on to them like that. I just kind of get rid of them, sell them lower in the market to somebody that actually likes a player too. I just don't believe in like hoarding players. I just like cards, so I don't mind holding 1 slab of each player for the long term. But if I have multiple slabs and it's like, like I had 3 Luis Roberts and I was like, I only need 1. 3 is abundance. I just need 1. But yeah, PSA sucks, honestly. And the fact that they didn't know how to communicate to their customers and give them updates and anything like that, so frustrating. PSA used to be number 1. I mean, PSA is still number 1 right now in market. Beckett's number 2. And depending who you ask, number 3 is always up for debate. But we're not here to talk about the ranks of the grading companies. We're here to talk about PSA. And I think PSA lost a lot of credibility within like the last year and a half because you could clearly see that they are controlling the grades so the market doesn't get flooded with 10s. And the one big issue I have with PSA is their human grading. I know they're going to AI, which is cool. I think that's where it needs to be. I think it needs to be AI and human, which that's why I went with a hybrid grading approach because that's what they do, supposedly. But I think that's the best answer because, technology is going to give you the unbiased grade and the human is going to verify if that's right or wrong. See, a human could just have a bad day and, walk in the office and be like, no one's getting a 10 today. Fuck this card. Or somebody at PSA could have bought a card with a low pop of 10 and then somebody sends one in and the dude's like, nah, I don't want to give this a 10. It's going to devalue my card. See, there's a lot of like emotional attachment to grading. So I think PSA tarnished their brand quite a bit within like this year and a half, 2-year span. I wish they would have been more transparent and been like, look guys, we are so backed up. If you don't want to wait a year for your cards to get back, maybe give it a year or 2 to submit, unless it's a high-end card. Because when this card market started, everybody was like, I'm gonna grade everything because graded cards are more expensive. So they would send in a raw card that was $10, but graded it'd be 100 and it would cost 25 to grade. So you'd be 35 in and you'd have 65 profit, which is good. But then at the end of the day, if everyone does that, it floods the market, which creates high supply and high demand. So I mean, at that point, and now we have PSA pushing everything out, which is diluting their brand, honestly. It's like why we don't see Drake partner up with like McDonald's, anything else like that, is because he's keeping his brand to what he wants it to be. So, I mean, I'm still a fan of PSA. I think you kind of have to be a fan of PSA in the sports card industry because they're pretty much like the OG. Well, I mean, of course, Beckett too, and shout out to Beckett, but I mean, Beckett still has problems too. A lot of like controversy in their grading too, but PSA is let me show you the example so you understand what I'm saying. Now, I sent this card in and I thought I was going to get like a PSA 7 or 6 or maybe an 8 at the most, and it got a PSA 10. And the only reason I say I thought I was going to get a PSA 8, 7, or 6 is because there's a print line and I didn't see it until I submitted it. So I don't know if you could technically see it, but it would be like right here. And it's a big line, but I got a PSA 10, most surprising grade ever. And honestly, that should show you that PSA is not perfect. They miss a lot of things, and sometimes they're too hard on grades. Now, nobody could tell you where this goes. PSA could fall off the map, highly unlikely, but anything is possible. And there could be a new company that becomes number 1, just like how Beckett was number 1, now PSA is number 1. Nothing ever stays the same forever. But I think PSA nonetheless is a place you should be grading your cards. And I think Pokemon should probably go to Beckett And you know, honestly, any other company, maybe like lower end cards, or like if you're just a collector, then so be it. Whoever grades your cards, whoever, whatever. But yeah, for everybody out there saying I was too hard on HGA, I am not the biggest supporter of PSA right now because they cannot get their shit together. I believe a company should be transparent and be for the customers. But that's just my opinion. I am just a YouTuber on the screen that you are watching for some reason, that you found me. I don't even know how, but if you did, subscribe maybe. Maybe, just maybe. It's free. That's it. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this type of content. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you dropped a like, comment, subscribe, whatever you got to do to stay in the loop. I drop one video a day helping you mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, and emotionally. All here, all for free, every day. And with that being said, guys, my name is Derek with Flip and Drip, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.